it's say extra, extra! Extra, extra!
Television news was different than radio news because of visualizations. They had photographs and videos. While there were many broadcasting networks in radio, there were two big ones that helped launch television news broadcasting. At the time, the National Broadcasting Company, NBC, was run by David Sarnoff, and the Columbia Broadcasting System, CBS, was ran by William S. Paley. According to the University of Chicago Press Books, NBC was the most popular network until CBS came along. CBS became a more popular network because they considered news equally as important as entertainment broadcasting. When officially starring in television, CBS started first with a 15-minute broadcast 2 nights a week in 1944. NBC started a 90-minute program a year later in 1945. The television industry was ready in 1939, but because of World War II, it did not really start until about 1944. The University of Chicago Press Book stated that in order to expand viewership, linking television stations into networks required a coaxial cord specifically designed for that medium. By the 1940s, the government had started working on this project and linked up most of the East Coast. By 1946, there were 6 stations in 4 cities. By 1950, only 30% of the United States was within reach of network programming, and only 32% actually had televisions. In 1951, the coaxial cable was extended all the way to the West Coast. In 1955, there were about 500 television stations operating inside the United States. Trying to prevent monopolization in the broadcast industry, in 1975, the Federal Communications Committee initiated the newspaper broadcast cross-ownership rule. According to the Economic Policy Institute, it bars a single company from owning a newspaper and broadcast station in the same market. It was to prevent a company from having a too powerful of a voice. It prevented local television stations owned by newspaper from just summarizing what was written in their newspaper. Many tried to lobby Congress to change the rule, but Congress did not remove the cross-ownership rule in 1996 because they did not want to decrease the voices. According to the Pew Research Center survey data, U.S. adults continue to report turning to local TV in greater numbers than many other news sectors such as radio, print newspaper, and network news. Research has also found that the local TV news audience tends to skew older, while younger adults are more likely to turn to digital media for their news.
Americans have a clear preference for getting their news on a screen, though which screen that is varies. According to journalism.org, nearly twice as many adults often get news online, either from news websites or apps, on social media, or both when compared to print. In 2015, CNN, Fox News, and MSNBC had a larger audience from mobile devices than from desktop computers. During the same period in 2014, the same was true for 2 out of the 3 news centers. In a 2016 Pew Research Center survey, nearly 4 in 10 U.S. adults said that they often get their news from digital sources, including news websites or apps, and social networking sites. A recent study from Reuters Institute Digital News Report states that 54% of all online users across 36 countries, including the U.S. and UK, say that they use social media as a source of news each week. Mobile news consumption is rising rapidly, and the portion of Americans who get their news from a mobile device has gone up from 54% in 2013 to 72% as of 2016. With this in mind, the future of printed newspaper seems to be becoming a thing of the past. Technology has made large strides over the past several years and continues to become more and more advanced for modern society.